Let's dive right into this. Imagine an entire industry, literally on the brink of total collapse, suddenly discovering the secret to doubling its efficiency overnight. Sounds like absolute fiction, right? Well, it's 100% real. Today, we're unpacking a massive, counterintuitive reality check, how a literal life or death crisis forced an industry to unlock its ultimate potential. Just think about this for a second. Doubling your output in just a couple of years, and here is the real kicker, without spending a single dime on new technology. I mean, zero investment for double the output? That completely defies standard business logic, but the hard data just doesn't lie. For literally an entire century, these North American iron ore mines were living the absolute dream. They were fat, happy, and totally protected by geography, a massive, untouchable monopoly. But then, the early 1980s hit and an absolute nightmare rolled in. Super cheap Brazilian iron ore traveled halfway across the globe and invaded their core market in Chicago. We aren't talking about a tiny dip in profits here. We're talking about the threat of total annihilation. Section 1. The impossible boom. Doing way more with way less. Consider this massive explosion in productivity happening exactly when the industry was dead broke. Labor productivity skyrocketed by 100%. Material efficiency up by over 60%. Even their heavy machinery usage became drastically more efficient. This absolutely destroys the classic excuse that you need a massive budget to innovate. Section 2. The common sense myth. Eliminating the usual suspects. So when faced with a boom like this, experts love to trot out the same old explanations, right? They'll say, oh, they must have closed down the worst performing mines, or they definitely bought state-of-the-art tech, or they replaced workers with machines, or they just hired way better staff. Sounds perfectly reasonable, but it is completely wrong. We're about to bust every single one of those myths. The actual facts here deliver the ultimate slap in the face to traditional economics. When you look at the real impact of those conventional saviors, it's wild. Closing bad mines barely moved the needle. New technology, they literally had no money to invest in it. Better skills, almost zero contribution. Absolutely none of the standard business school fixes actually caused this miracle. Which brings us to Section 3, the real culprit, a system literally designed to fail. Okay, the numbers on this are genuinely insane. Before the crisis hit at many of these mines, a staggering 50% of the entire workforce was made up of repair staff. Let that sink in. Half the payroll was just people sitting around literally waiting for something to break. That's not just a little bloated, that is a catastrophic waste of human resources. Imagine the suffocating bureaucracy on the ground. Step 1, a machine breaks. Step 2, the highly paid operator sits there completely idle. Why? Because incredibly strict union rules ban them from doing even the most basic maintenance. Step 3, they wait, sometimes for hours, for a specialized repairman to trek out to the site. And step 4, the actual repair takes like 10 minutes. It is unforgivably inefficient. The researchers put this perfectly. It's exactly like a railroad engineer seeing a fallen branch on the tracks, but strict rules forbid them from stepping out of the train to move it. Instead, they have to call in a specialized branch removal team. The result? The entire production line gets paralyzed. Trains are delayed for hours, and output absolutely tanks. These hyper-rigid job classifications were literally suffocating the business. Section 4. The devastating price of idleness and how fixing the workflow changed everything. Here is the hidden cost that was bleeding them dry. When you force a massive machine to just sit there waiting for a specialist, you aren't just burning through the operator's hourly wage. You are literally burning wasted fuel and hemorrhaging lost output. But the moment you flip the script and allow those operators to do their own basic setups and simple repairs, boom, the machines keep running constantly. Idle time is obliterated, and efficiency naturally goes through the roof. Burn this number into your brain. 25%. The biggest mine in the region made one shockingly simple tweak. They finally let machine operators do their own basic maintenance. And the result? That massive bloated repair staff that used to take up half the company was slashed down to just 25%. No fancy new tech, no huge investments, just dropping absurd restrictions caused an absolute quantum leap in productivity. And finally, Section 5, the ultimate lesson. How brutal competition forces efficiency. This is the ultimate brutal truth that needs to be framed in every executive's office. Competition, and I mean terrifying survival of the fittest competition, is the true ultimate driver of productivity.
If that cheap Brazilian ore hadn't shown up with a knife to their throats, threatening to steal every last customer, these North American companies would have happily coasted along in their lazy, inefficient bubble forever.
The researchers' conclusion hits like an absolute freight train. Did these companies know they were wildly inefficient before the crisis? Oh, absolutely. They knew it. But comfortable monopolies will almost always choose to flush money right down the toilet because fixing internal rules is painful. Unless survival absolutely demands it, they will just close their eyes and keep burning cash.
So, I'm going to leave you with this really provocative question to challenge your own industry. Why do we always wait for the entire building to catch on fire before we finally decide to fix the plumbing? Is it really a lack of cutting-edge technology holding us back, or is it just outdated, absurd rules that belong in the garbage bin of history? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll catch you in the next Explain.